Ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow! Good Friday evening. Welcome to Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Basil wants to do his annual Superb Owl broadcast. Now, you might ask why we're doing the Superb Owl broadcast 2 weeks ahead of the Superb Owl game, but we in the media all like to get as much hype and as much cha-ching out of the big game as we possibly can. Get everybody's. Hey, the wizard's here. Okay. Now, callers in are almost always of the lesser variety, so I'm gonna check around the desk here, looking for that speck of dust phone. No, it's not the speckier speck of dust phone. Try the. No, it's not the speck of dust phone. Well, let's go all the way to the bottom of the ocean. It's not the micro speck of dust phone. Well, that means it's probably the. No, it's not the Inky Dinky phone either. Could it be? Hello? Hey, Lil. I know you're always locked in on us and always, you're always here on the phone. But, Basil, Lil wants to know why you're doing a Superb Owl broadcast 2 weeks before the big game. Lil, I think we were just talking about that, and sure enough, we want to, Basil's a journalist. Remember that. I mean, he maybe wasn't a journalist when you were together with him, and both of you were here in physical presence, rather than just Basil's two-dimensional avatar. And I don't even know, where is your avatar? Where is we know the calico cat turned into the calico stone 3 days after she passed. That's actually more grist for our Sunday morning religious broadcast. But, so, we explained that, Basil's a journalist, and like all other journalists, we want to gather as much hay as far ahead of the big game, and that's why they scheduled the big game, the Superb Owl, 2 weeks after the NFC and the AFC conference championships, so that it's not so the players can rest up. They never have this 2 week span during the regular season, except each team gets at that once. They get a bye week, but I hope that answers your question. Okay. Says no, but you got to do what you got to do. And by the way, okay, Lil, we're going to keep you online here. We're going to keep the phone off the hook so you can, as always, listen in on the show. And of course, she's also watching from Basil BuddhaCat Presents from, So, B&M Baked Beans. Did we lose our Uno contract already, and we're going to the baked beans? Basil said, said, no, actually, you know that we still have Uno as a corporate sponsor. And, yeah, we better do a spot for them right now. Uno, a card game where you start with this many cards, about 70 or 80 of them, and you generally deal out 8 cards per person. So when Lara and Maj come over and play cards, or when we go over there and play Uno, as a matter of fact, they're coming over tonight, so that's something to look forward to, definitely. So in the Uno card game, you have 80 cards to pass, say 4 people eat. That's 32 cards. You would think that a game like that would normally take a couple, 3, 4, 5, maybe on the outside 20 minutes for somebody to go out. And a quick reminder that, when a player gets down to their last card, they have to, as the game implies, they have to say Uno, which means that they're down to 1 card, and if anybody wants to try to stop them, now's the time. So you have this deck of cards, you have them dealt out, you've got the rest of them laid on the table, and they wait there for somebody to not be able to put either a, in this case, if the red 3 gets thrown by the person ahead of you, you've got to throw either a red card or the number 3 in another color. So you're all set. So you think that the game's going to go pretty quickly, and you maybe, get in an hour, maybe you'll get 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 or 10 or 11 games in, like you would in blackjack. Quick. Bing, bing, bing. But here's the rub, and this is what makes the game so fascinating, is that you have these other cards thrown in. Well, one of them, reverse. You throw the reverse, and the field reverses. If you would be having the person to this side go next, reverse sends it back to the person that just led to you. So, but what really makes this game super duper fascinating, trademark, is that if you throw, for instance, this wild card, this draw 4, that means the person that's following you has got to draw 4. They've got to pick up 4 cards from the deck down on the table. Now, that automatically means that if they're going to win, it's going to take 4 more times around to get them down to Uno and get them out of cards and win the game. Game over. Now, unfortunately, there's a bunch of these things in the deck. These draw 4s, and they're also draw 2s. No draw 3s, just draw 2s and draw 4s. So you throw the draw 4 on. Let's see if Basil we're playing, and he's next. And I throw a draw 4 down. He's going to have to draw 4 and pump up his deck of cards a little bit, his hand of cards, and he's not going to be real happy because now he's got 4 more cards to get rid of to win the game. But let's just say Basil happens to have one of these in his hand too. Draw 4. And he throws it down. Now, let's say that's Lara over there. Now, Lara has to draw 8 for 4 plus 4. Lara's got to draw 8, which is going to make it very difficult for her, seemingly, to win the game. Let's just say hypothetically, and it happens, Lara happens to have one of these in her hand too. So, Lara throws a draw 4 down. Now it's Maj has to pick up 4 plus 4 plus 4. Maj has to pick up 12. Possibility Maj might have 4, a draw 4 also. He throws it down, and now it's back to me around, and me thinking that I was skunking Basil and getting him to have to pick up 4. It comes all the way around, and I've got to pick up 4, 8, 12. Sorry about that. I don't want to show off that Nick deer, but I did, and here we are. So, by the way, the other Basil. Now I get skunked. I've skunked myself, ultimately, and I've got to pick up 16 cards. Does that mean that I have no chance of winning the game? No, it doesn't. Because this can happen many times during the game, and you get a lot of reverse fields, and a lot of draw twos, and a lot of draw fours, and you could end up with 20, 30 cards in your hand, and you're not out of the game. Because the same thing that happened to you to get you to that 20 or 30 cards can happen to somebody else too. Somebody else could have that many cards too. Everybody, the first couple go rounds, probably is going to end up with more than the 8 they started out with. So, again, and for you Irish folk that like to play cards, green. And for you Democratic Party inclined people, blue. For you Republican Party minded people, red. And for people that don't know how to hold it while they're sitting around the table playing cards for 4 hours, which the game can quite often go, and you forget to go to the bathroom, yellow. Okay, that's good. We've done it. Have we done it? Have we? Basil said, this time you might be the one that's skunking our corporate sponsors' chance of staying with us by that you remark about yellow. Well, okay. So there you go. Oh, and another one. Another corporate sponsor. We're getting back into the game because we had. At one time, we had giant lion-sized Hershey's Kisses as a corporate sponsor, and the Hershey's Candy Company, they kind of got tired of us, tired of Basil making references to the giant-sized Hershey's Kiss, which Basil picked up a bunch of these when we were on a safari in Africa, in the veldt, not trademark. Basil picked up, about 100 of these, I think, Basil? Yeah, about 100. And Basil's got a pretty good paw. And so what Basil did was he would take all these giant lion-sized Hershey's Kisses, and he'd fling them and across the Atlantic Ocean, all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, last bounce up into Connecticut, and to 935 feet above sea level, and they end up in our yard. So when we got home, Basil just picked them all up, and Basil's been, as you know, giving out these giant, these lion-sized Hershey's Kiss Awards for quite some time now. Who's gotten the most of those, Basil? Basil says, said, the one that's gotten the most of these? Well, we started off calling him President-elect Trump, or candidate Trump, 2 years ago when Basil started ragging on him. It later became, through some miracle of idiocy within the Republican Party, he became candidate Trump. Later on, presidential candidate Trump. And through the miracle of the Electoral College, with 46% of the popular vote, to the other one we don't like. I've forgotten her name. She's disappeared, hasn't she, since the election? I mean, she was sitting sort of around close to Trump at the inauguration, but other than that, she's been pretty much persona non grata ever since the November election. So Basil's been giving out a lot of these to, and I'm sure there'll be more given out in the future to the man we're going to call President Trump. But now, through Basil's looking into the Old Testament and the Bible, and we talk about this obviously more on our Sunday show, which has more of a religious nature to it. So Basil now refers to him as President-elect Moloch. And if you know your Old Testament, you'll know that, oh, well, you'll have to look it up. We won't help you with that. That's up to you. Another one, another corporate sponsor. Inkadoo Tattoo. Inkadoo Tattoo gel pens are painless fun. Unless you happen to stick yourself in the eye with one of them. Use the included stencils or try it form free. Freeform. Oh, so you can stencil it or you can just go freehand. Ink may take a few minutes to dry. Dries quicker if you stick it in your eye. Just ink, wash, and repeat. Okay, you get 3 sheets of stencils. Okay, ingredients. This is always the fun part of any product. Water, innocuous enough. Propylene glycol, innocuous enough. We'll be putting that into winterizing a house pretty soon. Into the water pipes. There you go. Now we're getting good. Aluminum powder. Now we're getting long. Triethanolamine oleic acid. Benzotriazole. Dibromocyanoacetamide. D&C red, number 27. D&C yellow, number 10. FD&C blue, number 1. What does the F stand for? Who knows? And it comes from the Toy Smith Company. Hey, an American company. Hey, good. 3101 West Valley Highway East. West Valley Highway East. Sumner, Washington, 98390. Copyright Toy Smith, 2012. Made in Ningbo, China. Okay. So, new corporate sponsor. Okay. So, at long last, let's start talking about this game, which isn't going to happen for about another 2 weeks. Well, 9 days from today. Okay, so Superb Owl, and of course the Superb Owl, that's a Stephen T. Colbert reference, and of course, you know, Stephen's up in the hammock, along with Bill Murray and Drew Carey, who we fondly refer to as LFFF, and we can't say that on television because this is a children's show. We can't tell you what the acronym stands for, but so 9 days. Superb Owl. Is it 51? Is it Super Bowl 51 or Super Bowl capital L, capital I? Okay. Basil's going to say something snarky. I know that because 3 whiskers on the right side of his face are starting to reach out for his feather, and that's a feather, of course, from a peacock. Also, all these are peacock feathers. Of course, the iridescent peacock feathers, and these feathers are actually the underlayment on the peacock. They kind of hold up the iridescent feathers, and when the peacock gets frightened, he turns around and waves his arse at you, and up come the feathers, and it makes him look like he's 1,000 times his normal size. Bound to scare off just about anybody, except the coyote that got the peacock that these came from the farm that Kristen used to live at before we met. Okay, back to the Superb Owl. Superb Owl, 9 days. And Colbert dubbed it the Superb Owl because you can't say Super Bowl without expressed explicit permission from the National Football League. So we would never say Super Bowl, and in fact, you know, we wouldn't want to cause any furor by saying Super Bowl. And the people that run the Super Bowl would probably be upset and, you know, cause us some super problems. So, onward. 9 days from now, the Atlanta Falcons, okay, from the National Football Conference, and the New England Patriots from the American Football Conference. Now, the Patriots had a record of 14 wins and 2 losses this year. So, keeping in mind that some guy on their team knew about footballs being deflated last year and and either ordered it, or asked for it, or didn't say anything about it. And that certain quarterback, named after the Brady Bill, because he doesn't believe in guns, said he got suspended for 4 games at the beginning of this year. So, and then came back and had, I think he threw 2 interceptions in 14 games, which is probably the equivalent of throwing 3 perfect games in a row. It's never happened. So he missed those he missed the first 4 games, and still they went 14-2. So imagine if he had been there the full 16 games. No doubt the Patriots would have had a perfect season, and they'd be riding into the Super Bowl. And no team would ever possibly have a perfect season, 16-0, win 2 playoff games, come into the Super Bowl, and and ever come into the Super Bowl and have any possibility of of losing the Super Bowl after going at that point 18 wins and no losses. Nobody would ever do that. Hold on. Yeah. Wait a second. Hold on. Well, I'll open up the bird cage. Hold on. Hold on. No team could ever win 16 games in the regular season and then win 2 playoff games, going 18-0 so far, and ever lose the Super Bowl after that. It's just impossible. The heck, what's on this football? Oh, it's the David Tyree model football from the NFL. Also copyrighted, but we're going to say it anyway. So that's it. So, okay, what's this all about? Another corporate sponsor? How in the world did we get this? Do we get B&M Baked Beans as a corporate sponsor? Okay, he's flicking his whiskers a little bit and blinking a little bit, so I know he's got something to say, and it's probably going to be snarky. No, not snarky like Snarky, our camera dog. By the way, Snarky, our camera dog, Tweety, our sound engineer. Okay, said, B&M Baked Beans, so these are what are referred to as Boston Baked Beans. B&M. What does the B&M stand for? Well, I'm going to read the back of the can because now they're a corporate sponsor, so we want to go... we couldn't go a full half-hour show without President Moloch tweeting us. Okay. No, we're not going to answer him right now. And Basil said, how about never? Okay. So B&M Baked Beans, corporate sponsor. Delicious B&M beans are slow baked in brick ovens for hours. Our baking methods produce beans with a perfect texture and deep flavor unlike any others. Wholesome and healthful, B&M beans are sweetened with molasses and cane sugar and are an excellent source of fiber and 99% fat-free, which means 1% of it is the greasiest lard you could possibly come up with. He's trying every way to get through to us, isn't he, Basil? Heating directions. Stovetop. Place beans into a saucepan. Stir occasionally over medium heat until hot. It's got microwave directions. It's got Questions and comments. Consumer Relations, Box K, Roseland, New Jersey. Now, why are Boston Baked Beans headquartered in New Jersey? B&G Foods Incorporated, Boston? Nah. Parsippany, New Jersey, 07454. And if you folks want to route us out for beginning our pushing of this product, go right ahead. It's you can go to www.bmbeans.com, and I'm sure they have a comment spot on there. So why? Basil is okay. He's going to say something. Said it. Well, B&M baked beans are associated with Boston, or New England, and they're, because of that, they're the beans endorsed by, not by anybody else, not by any NFL team, certainly not the Patriots, but they're endorsed by Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Getting back to this name, B&M. Why B&M? I know B&G, pickles are Block and Guggenheimer, or Block and Guggenheim. No, that's the museum. Block and Guggenheimer are the pickles. B&M. Who's the B and who's the M? No. Okay. So, wait a second. No, I'm not going to say that. No. We just got a corporate sponsor, and the last thing in the world we want to do is upset them. Well, Basil's going to say it, and I'll have to translate for him because I work for him. Said, okay. Said, is that B and M, or is that BM? Because apparently beans have a reputation to produce certain gassy emissions. We're going to have to come back and talk about that another. This is Basil BuddhaCat Presents. We'll see you Sunday morning, and we'll try to keep Basil in check in the meantime. We'll talk a little more about the Superb Owl 51 or Superb Owl LI. Good night.
They say they'd rob your grandma blind on Wall Street, fritter her away her Medicare on Wall Street. And Pharma Oil and their pet fox don't care if she lives in a box, so long as they wear platinum jocks on Wall Street, Meow.